And we're live. One job he had. One job. He just had to say, go. He said, oh, it's gone 9. Nice one, Andy. Right. If you tuned in to VT Talk last night, then you may be having a bit of deja vu at the moment. Mr. Dorn is unfortunately still unable to broadcast, and we sort of slightly anticipated that. So we've been planning this show for at least an hour, and as you can see, I've made some progress. There's some muds and stuff behind my head now, whereas there was just a wall with bullet holes in it last night. But basically, we're still a little bit jury-rigged, and but what could possibly be wrong? I've got some guests. It's going to be fun. But tonight, we're going to need you guys. So tonight, think of this as a gift. It's your show, okay? Tell us what you want us to talk about. Put it in chat. We've got a bit of a panel here, which I'll introduce to you in a minute, and we'll have a crack at it. Some of them may even do tricks if you ask them nicely. But let's start with the titles. Where's the titles? There they are.
SaveTheSigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
And here we go. Oh, I've done it again. I brought up the wrong shot is what I actually did. I meant to bring me up full screen and say, here is our panel. And apologies for the shot that's got Daz and Sav in it. Skype has just decided not to behave itself. And there wasn't time to fix it. What can I do? What can I do? Yes, so as you can see, we have Sav. And Sav's going to be doing a normal job of monitoring chat for topics of discussion. However, in addition to that, we're also going to get Sav a bit more involved in the show, hopefully. So you can ask Sav stuff if you want. That's cool. In fact, the more you ask Sav, the better. And on Sav's left is Daz. How you doing, Daz?
I'm not too bad. How everybody?
Ooh, bit sort of gargly there for me. So, it'll be okay. And Andy, he's got like a big window all to himself.
Very nice. Like what you've done with the place.
Yeah, you like that, do you? I've just realised my camera angle is all wrong on this camera because I'm on yet another camera now. So I'm just going to take you full screen, actually, Andy.
Okay.
So improvise.
Right. A song, or it's now 4 minutes past 9. My duty tonight was to call out the time that we start broadcasting, and I failed completely.
Yeah, how did that go, Andy? Yeah.
It went badly. It's the first time it was being officially given to me, and I was too busy laughing at you.
I've given up trying to adjust that camera.
Sorry.
With me, yes, at me, yeah. Well, you know, we're all in this together now, mate. They're laughing at you too. So... Right, yeah, so as I was explaining at the top there, we had a couple of choices, really. We could have postponed the show, but we figured, nah, people like watch us making idiots of ourselves without any prepared material and stuff. More
We do
than
that
they
very
like
well.
watching us make idiots of ourselves with prepared material, probably. Because it's less predictable. So, basically, we're just going to sit here. And wait for topics of discussion to come in. So, yeah. Did you bring any cards?
If there is a particularly a lull, I have got this.
Okay, this
Iolite.
looks like a lull.
It looks. It takes a while to heat up. It takes a while. I'll start it up now. It's probably all you'll hear. And if people don't know what this is, it's an Iolite. It's a vaporizing device that's let's say used more for herbal medicines. Is that
I thought
accurate?
it was a CB radio from the look of it.
Roger.
It's like a walkie-talkie, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me get that full screen so people can see it properly. There we go.
There it is. It's the Iolite. It's butane powered. I did have some butane, but just before we went live, I filled it up, and there's a little ball bearing in this that when you press it down, it's supposed to regulate the flow of butane, and the filling hole is at the top, and I went like that, and the ball bearing, like me failing in my job to mark the time, the ball bearing failed, and it was venting butane gas in the room. So I'll probably, if I light this now and there's just a big white flash, you know what's happened. So yes, this vaporizes.
Whatever
normally,
you're putting it.
yeah. It can vaporize anything. I got this 2 years ago when the first challenge from the MHRA came in, and we thought we were going to imminently lose our e-liquid. So I wanted to get this to demonstrate that you could grow tobacco, and I grew tobacco in my greenhouse in my garden.
I remember it well, yes.
Yes, and successfully. You know, I had about 6 plants. They produced big leaves, and I dried them, and I have got some somewhere. And you can vaporize tobacco. Now, that was going to be when I was driving home, I thought, well, that would be quite an interesting topic of conversation, because some people consider this not to be the more anti-tobacco vapors consider. I'll start at the beginning. At Vape Fest, I brought this to Vape Fest, and I had some pipe tobacco, and I was sort of handing it around for people to try, and they're telling them what's in it. And some vapors, electronic cigarette users, didn't want to use it because it had tobacco in it. Now, I found that very interesting, because I quite happily use this.
Well,
even
the
with
concept is very similar to what we're doing and what this show's all about, really, isn't it? Not this
Absolutely.
particular show, but you know,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's basically smoking without the harmful element.
Yes, but the reaction more was to the packet of Golden Virginia than
Right.
to the device. Now they didn't want to associate what they do now to that. And that was quite interesting. So at the moment I've got some fruit flavored molasses in here, which hasn't got any nicotine whatsoever. And now I'm praying
What's
that
the
this
point of that then?
come apart. But it's, of course, because we're live now, it's decided to be the strongest.
Yeah, hang on, I think I can zoom in on that as well. Sorry.
There we go. So you can see that's where you put the molasses.
Okay.
And there's the heating chamber.
Yeah.
And then I will turn it on and fire it up. And you don't get a lot of visible vapor out of this thing.
That's what I remember of it, yes.
Yes.
It's
But
like a little wisp.
you can hear that it's hitting, and if I click it, you should be able to see a little glowing red light in there, which
Indeed.
means it's heating. Then you put the walkie-talkie antenna on, and then wait for a little while, and it should heat up the whatever you happen to have in there.
Oscar Tango Whiskey Barbecue.
Come in. I've got a very hot ear.
Anyone remembers the young ones? Okay, right. Well, while you're waiting for that to heat up or whatever it does,
Yes.
let's flick across to Daz and Sav. and see what that shot looks like. And that shot's all over the place, isn't it? The top of Dazzy's head is missing. I've got an idea. I can maybe fix this. Shall we try? Anyway, Daz, Iolite. What do you know about the Iolite?
I know absolutely nothing. As I said before, to me it looks like a CB radio. I've never even heard of one. So it's the first I've actually known about it.
Okie dokie. So you've learned something tonight?
I have indeed.
It's working. It is at temperature.
It's at temperature. Okay, let's flick back to our Bristol studio.
And that's as much vapour as you get out of it.
Actually, to be fair, that's more than I remember.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's very wet molasses I've put in here, and it's
right.
That's what you see. That's the water vapour and a lot of flavour, and it does make a bit of a noise.
It sure
and
does.
It does that every 2 or 3 minutes. It kicks in and keeps it at an average temperature. I don't know what the average temperature is, but it's hot enough to vaporise stuff but not burn it. So there's no burning. There's still no burning, and I will say that herbal molasses obviously taste very fruity and very flavourful. There's no nicotine in this at the moment. But if you put tobacco in it, it doesn't taste like an analogue. It tastes like tobacco flavoured e-liquid, really.
Right, okay.
You get the much more organic. Oh dear, it's really doing something quite exciting. Yeah, so, but it does work with e-liquid.
I'm just waiting to see if it explodes. Yeah, and there's a question for you. If you use it with e-liquid, does it give off more vapour than the molasses?
That was quite good. That was quite good.
That was really good.
Yeah, it does give off more vapour. But say if you use 24 milligrams in an e-cig, if you put 24 milligrams and take a big lungful,
right,
your eyebrows will fall off.
I'd quite like to see that, actually.
Yeah.
Is there?
I know you will. I know. Yeah.
Okay. You know, it makes me
once.
wonder.
Was it with 36 milligrams?
Yes, I vaguely recall that.
Was that the video?
It actually makes me wonder what would happen with 45 milligram extra.
Right. Shall we find out?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, well, I haven't got 45 with me, but I've got 36.
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do. That's fine.
All right,
Not a
don't be
problem.
so keen. Don't be so keen. It's been nice knowing you all. Okay, so I'm going to go with the same one. No, which one did I do last night on VT on VT Talk?
You did the RY4 Nutzilla, didn't you?
Yeah, well, let's... I've got Espresso Nutzilla. I'm going to stick to the same one, you know, so... Something nutty. RY4 Nutzilla. So, I'm not going to clean that out. I'm just going to go on top of it, because that's like an hour worth of cleaning in there. So I'm just going to give it a good soak.
Because it is quite a mucky device, isn't it, compared to what we regularly use?
It is very mucky, but if you're using mostly herbal molasses or tobacco, you can make like a little pouch out of tin foil.
Right.
And that does aid the cleaning process quite a lot. And that's what I used to do. When you use it with, the few times that I have used it with e-liquid, I got one of my wife's makeup removal pads, trimmed that down into a little circle, made a hole in it, so that spike in there pierced the cotton wool.
Okay.
Soaked the cotton wool in e-liquid, and it really, really worked a treat. But the nicotine hit off it is insane. I don't know what Bite Extra is going to be like.
Okay, well, let's find out, eh?
Well, let's just give it a second just to get to optimal temperature, because it's obviously heating that e-liquid now.
Whilst it's heating, if you don't mind me asking, can I ask a quick question?
Of course you can.
Okay, so we know that you can put tobacco in and the tobacco isn't lit. So
Yes.
if you've already covered this as well, please accept my apologies, but what is in fact heating it?
There is what is heating the tobacco.
Yes.
Is in here is a chamber of butane gas. In here, and there's a little cup that sits like that, like a ceramic cup on a CE4 or a CE2 or something like that. and
Right.
underneath that is a hot element. And,
Right.
And I think we just went off air.
No, we didn't.
No,
No,
okay.
it's
No,
still on.
I've just watched you on the internet saying I think we just went off air. So that's
Oh,
cool.
right, okay. Well, hello everybody. So that the heating element is heating a metal cup, which holds the e-liquid or whatever, and that metal cup gets up to a temperature not above a certain set temperature that is thermostatically controlled, and the whatever you've got in there then vaporizes, meaning that it heats up to a point that any liquid, any wet stuff within that cup turns into vapor. And now
Right.
I think it's at temperature. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it
just 1 second there. I just noticed a comment in chat, and it scrolled off, so I can't say who said it now. But the question base, the comment was, "Stop being a chicken, Andy."
Okay. Here we go. That wasn't the lovely flavour. More coffee.
We're all sitting here riveted. See, look, there's Sav and Daz watching.
Do you know what? I get more of the pepperiness out of an e-cig.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has completely neutralised the kick, the bite. Ha ha ha!
Are you sure you put the right stuff in?
Oh no, there we go.
Ah, nice, nice. I've just noticed my
No, it
camera
just
angle's
wasn't-
gone all a bit to pot again as well. I really must apologise for the state of the cameras tonight.
Oh,
I haven't
no,
finished.
it's kicking now. It just probably wasn't hot enough.
That's slightly better, but not much.
You can't do it. Once it gets up to temperature, you cannot actually hold any in your lungs for any amount of time.
Go on, have a go though. While I fix this camera.
No, it is probably at least 3 or 4 times worse than when it's in a cartomizer for me. I mean, I know you guys, well, Dave Dorn and Dave Kitson love this stuff. So
Yeah,
it
it's
goes
good.
to show that it's all very subjective. But in here, it is whacking me very hard now.
Okay.
But lovely flavour.
Yeah, well, and well
And I
done for
actually
trying,
getting
you
used
know.
to it. But it does make a noise. I wouldn't take this out. I have never taken this, apart from to Vape Fest, I've never taken it outside.
Because
It hisses, it gets quite warm, and people will think I'm sucking on a walkie-talkie.
excuse me while I refill my Fagatti, by the way. So, yeah, it does. I mean, it looks like
Yeah.
one of those baby monitor things.
Yeah, but visibly more vapour with e-liquid, as you will probably have seen there.
Yes, indeed I did.
And I am doing a lung inhale as well.
I hate to tell you this, Andy, but you know what they're going to ask for, or what they already are asking for in chat.
Does it start with Diablo and end with Loco by any chance?
I haven't got any.
That
Is
has
it-
been mentioned, but they want a nose hit.
Ah, yes, of course.
Not bad. Nice flavour. No, I'm telling you, this does kill it. Kills the pepperiness. It still clears the sinuses quite a bit. But picking this up again and using it. Why e-cigs have come a long way. This is
Yeah.
quite old now. Why hasn't this evolved to the state that it doesn't look like a walkie-talkie? And I mean, there's the plume. Have you seen the plume?
I've seen it, and there is a new Iolite as well. Hang on, I just want to go full screen for that. Hang on.
Oh, it's over now. That's it.
Yeah, but we can still see the pain.
Nose hit was fine.
We can still see the contorted face.
Oh, Let me try take one of these out, because you can actually go a smaller mouth stalk, so it will look less. This is supposed to increase temperature. That doesn't quite fit in there. That's not meant to be like that, I don't think. Let's put another. It's like Lego. Other building blocks are available. So now that's shorter. Yeah, warmer. Warmer, same flavour, but just warmer.
Same pain, different temperature.
I used to, when I went on holiday to Cornwall, when I used to smoke traditional combustion devices, used to take a pipe.
Right.
And used to sit by the campfire if we were camping, and get some cherry tobacco and sit and smoke my pipe. This is very reminiscent of that.
Okay.
But what does chat think? Because you can put tobacco in it, what do they think about that? What's the general standpoint about whether they would be comfortable about using a device like this because you can use tobacco in it? For me...
Well, I've got a couple of comments already from chat regarding that. And both the comments I've got have said that no, they don't like the idea of it because they want to separate their vaping from smoking, and they want to distance themselves as much as possible from tobacco.
Okay, and is that like a consensus, or?
There was sort of 2 or 3 comments that were had, and people were asking sort of, is with you using tobacco, even though you're not burning it as such, do we know if it's any more carcinogenic than using your e-cig, or what do we know?
It's a fair comment, because I mean the first thing that springs to mind is the chemicals that they add to the tobacco are still in the mix, aren't they?
Yes,
where they're
I'm
not
getting
within
good
liquid.
vapour out of this, and I've used like 5 drops of e-liquid on herbal molasses, so I'm getting a combination of RY4 Nutzilla and cherry flavoured molasses. So you could, definitely vaporizing it is better than burning it. Yeah. Whatever you do, So as harm reduction, I suppose.
It's an option.
Yeah, if 4 milligram came about and it was my only choice, I would seriously consider spending a lot of time with this thing, and I'd probably put tobacco in it, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it like you say, harm reduction, isn't it? Okay, we're going to take a first break, and while we're taking that break, we'll have a look and see what chat have thrown up. So, see you in a couple of minutes.
Sav and Dave, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
iVapor Elixir, based in Yorkshire, for your e-cig needs. That's ivapor.co.uk and ivapor-elixir.co.uk. iVapor and ivapor-elixir.co.uk, proud sponsors of vaportrails.tv.
Sav and Dave, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
And welcome back. And for some reason, Wirecaster's decided rather than just to smoothly fade in each shot, it's just decided to like pause for a second, show a black screen, and then throw it in suddenly. How nice. But we got there, sort of. Which camera? That one. Right. We're going to go back to chat and see what's coming out of chat in just a minute. But just before then, I'm just going to pass the floor over to Daz, who wants to give you an update on our social media projects.
Yes, thank you very much, Dave. So as you all know, Sav and I have been extremely busy at the moment for your enjoyment, setting up social media pages. You can visit our site at facebook.com/VapingTrailsTV. We also have the Google Plus community. You can follow us on Twitter as well. Now today, I've just posted a poll up, which was to do with what ratio and what kind of ingredients you use in your e-liquid. So it's PG, VG, etc. But whilst we're creating this content, we just wanted to really point out as well, and I'm sure Sav will agree with what I say, that a lot of the stuff that we do, we post this for you, and we are always looking for feedback, of what you would like to see. The more comments you get in, the more we can put on the pages. We really want to make this as active as possible for you guys. So if you aren't already, go out and check that page after the show. You'll find us everywhere more or less now. Is there anything you want to add to that, Sav?
Pictures. We want pictures, stories. Just get involved as much as you possibly can, because we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree 100%.
Good stuff. Okay, thank you for that, Daz. Sav, anything happening in chat there?
I've got a couple of questions. Two for Daz.
All right.
Olgit says, Daz, have you got a rebuildable atomizer yet?
Yes, I have. And I got the rebuildable... it's got to be pushing on about 2 months now, and I got it on recommendation of Sav, and I got the Bulldog Bim. And a little story about that one. It was just pushing up to Christmas, and I'd been using it for about 3 weeks, and it's been absolutely incredible. And I thought while I was severely under the influence of alcohol would be a really good time to do a re-wig and recoil. Well, I'm saying I thought it was a good idea. I didn't. I got pushed into it.
Who, by?
Well, it was Sav and Kat who pushed me into.
They are a bit like that, I've noticed.
Yeah, and when you're under the influence, you get this sense of courage. So it was a one-eye shut job, and I didn't actually realise how small the screws were until I undid the darn thing. But I have to say that I can now re-wig and recoil, but I do it a darn sight better under the influence of alcohol than what I do sober.
Superb.
Yeah.
Question answered.
Indeed, I've got another one.
Far away.
There's loads for Daz.
Okay.
He's a very
Everyone
popular
wants
guy.
to pick Daz's brain tonight.
It suits me. I don't have to press any buttons because you're already on the screen. Just keep asking Daz questions. We'll be cool.
Right, this one's from Jeff, and Jeff wants to know, Daz, when do we get to see the mod show?
Oh God, the mod show. Well, the mod show will happen. I can't say when it's going to happen. It's something that me and Gary have to sort out. And the thing is, unfortunately, as all the presenters know, things in VTTV change a lot, and they can change at the spur of the moment. And when things change, things get pushed to the back. And it doesn't mean to say that content's lost, but sometimes it's just pushed to the back a bit. So it will happen. When it will happen, I'm not sure. But it is something that me and Gary will talk about to bring to you in the future at some point. But when, I don't know. Maybe let me get a bit more confident with rebuildables before I start thinking about touching a soldering iron.
Nah, get in there.
Jeff said. I have to say, as Jeff said, that was a politician's answer to that.
I thought that was rather good, actually. You sidestepped it beautifully.
Well, you'll only get more confidence if you pick up that soldering iron.
Well, yeah, that's very true. But
do you have a
what's
soldering
the worst
iron?
that can happen?
The
Do
worst
you
thing,
have a soldering iron?
well,
And
do
he
you want
said,
to book the ambulance in advance, just to be on the safe side? Because the last time I touched a soldering iron was at school. And I remember we're doing, we're learning about circuit boards, and I was given the circuit board, and I'm not kidding you, honestly, you could not see the top of that. It was a simple circuit board. I think it was connecting something like a battery and an LED. You could not see the top of that circuit board for solder. The green had completely disappeared. It was just mass of solder on the top. And needless to say, I failed my exam in that subject, which I can't remember from the top of my head what it was called, but that was the last time I touched a soldering iron.
if it was biology, that'll be why you failed.
Probably, yeah.
And you've got more, you said, Sav?
I have. There's a question that came in from Egomaniac, and he says, has the X-Star VP1 charger surfaced in the UK yet? Because he can't seem to find any in the States.
The VP one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the new one that's coming soon. Did Daz at Safe and Six?
Yeah,
that's the one he says he
is
should be getting in the next week or two.
A stock of them. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's not. He doesn't appear
2
in
weeks,
chat
he says.
tonight.
Oh, there you go. He's saying 2 weeks it will.
Oh, great.
So not
yeah.
next week, but 2 weeks.
I've just bought
Not
a new
next week.
charger.
Have you?
It arrived yesterday. It's a Nightcore something. It's got
Right.
4 bays and everything. And it charges batteries a treat.
I'm still on my original Trust Fire.
I got loads of them. As I was
Yeah.
sorting, I mentioned it last night, but basically I've totally gutted this room, and I'm slowly in the process of putting it together. Originally with a target date of Sunday for needing to use the broadcasting stuff, that kind of went by the wayside twice so far. So I've basically, I was knee deep in stuff, and I must have found 4 or 5 of those Trustfire chargers. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
I would put them on display on your shelf.
There's no
Stand
room
them
on the
up
shelf
neatly in a
anymore.
row.
Do you like the shelf?
I do. I like the shelf. When you were talking about the cabinet, though, I'm taking it this was a completely different cabinet.
No,
to
I'm
the
also
shelf.
doing some home decorating. The cabinet was for the bathroom.
I see.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
There's no room for a cabinet. There's a table coming.
Table coming.
There's a table coming on Saturday.
I look forward to the table.
But hopefully I'm not so close to the camera, which is good. And there's more light and stuff. And anybody that's been in a Google Hangout, and I've sort of shamefully shown them the state of my desk recently, these mods were all lying on the desk, sometimes 2 or 3 deep. So I thought I'd put them up there, mainly so they're out the way. And I keep cracking tanks and things like that because they fall over on the desk and land on other mods and things like that, you see.
Yeah.
So-
I noticed behind you, you've got an MVP. Is that
Yes.
in your
Does that-
hand regularly? 'Cause
Fairly
I love
regular.
mine.
I'll be honest, I haven't used it at all since the EVIC arrived.
Right.
But up until then, I was using it quite a bit. Then again, I haven't used the EVIC since this GP PAPS arrived yesterday. So.
Oh, that's the one you got yesterday.
Yeah, but I will go back because I'm having problems with my kick, and I've got quite used to my fixed wattage. So I think. I'll
What
be
problems
moving.
are you having with the kick?
It's just it will fire and work for a few minutes and then just stop.
Right, because I noticed on the bolt that you get little bits of electrical corrosion on
Yes.
the inside, and it had a perfect ring of sort of burnt.
Yeah,
Gary
I'm
Gary
pretty
Dibley.
sure
Or
it's the
maybe
kick.
Daz would know what causes that because
He's a modder, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a mod maker now.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm pretty sure it's the kick itself.
Right.
Because it seems to be across all mods. Even if I had a bit of wet and dry in there just to make sure there's nothing built up, it seems to play up. And to be honest with you, I think it's just easier to use the EVIC, to be honest.
Well, yeah, no, I haven't had. Because last night I reported that I was having some trouble with mine, and there are some interesting comments on the YouTube channel about what I should try to fix it. And also there was somebody who was having similar problems, and it was a faulty head unit. So I'm guessing that's what's wrong with this one that I've been lent to evaluate. So I'm probably going to be sending it back.
That's a shame.
Yeah, no. I mean, you've.
But then again, if you do decide to get one, you get one with the battery's working.
Absolutely, it does assist in the act of vaping.
You had to be here last night to understand the history behind that one, folks.
Yeah, no, it's basically just playing up. I mean, some batteries work, some batteries don't, and they're all the same battery. So there's something odd going, and it all seems to be relative to level of charge. So it's odd and still continues despite people's help and assistance from last night's show.
Okay, I think Sav was about to say something then.
I've got some questions.
Ooh, go for it.
I have some questions from chat. First one's come from Gary Wood, and this one's for you, Dave. And Gary wants to know, how many times have you hit your head off that shelf since you put it up?
0.
Good. And the next one is one we're actually going to talk about last night. So far, yeah. And it's from Lee, and he says, Desert Island mod Atty and e-liquid.
Oh yeah, that came up as a possible topic of conversation, didn't it?
It did.
And yeah.
Go on,
I
then,
think
Andy.
Dave should answer that first.
What was it again? Desert Island, what? Atty?
Mod, Atty, and e-liquid.
You see, there's 2 ways you can answer that, right? Your favourite mod, but if I was really going on to, at the moment, I'd probably take something like the eVic, actually. But on a desert island, it'd be quite hard to recharge things and program it.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got a wind-up charger as well.
You could, okay, that's fair then.
Or one plug socket on a palm tree.
An electric palm tree.
Yeah.
Would it have internet?
No.
Oh, okay, right.
Better or not good.
It's a desert island.
Okay,
Don't be
right.
silly.
Yeah, because if you were saying to me you can only have one mod, right now I'd probably go for something like the eVic. Okay, but if I really was going to a desert island, I'd go for something mechanical, because you'd have a chance of fixing it if it breaks. You see.
Yeah.
So if I really was going to desert island, I'd probably take something like a pure smoker mod or a GGTS, because you can strip them down, clean them up, put them back together, and just know that they're going to work. There's not much you can't sort of rig to get working again.
Yeah.
Atomizer.
Both of those I've broken.
Yeah. Yeah, you've not had a lot of luck in that sort of area.
As long as Gary Dibley was on this island as well.
Then that would be different. Yeah, okay.
Go on then, sorry, I interrupted. Atomizer?
Atomizer, it would have to be the Fagatti at the moment. I just really like this atomizer. It's like ace. So,
and e-liquid?
RY4 or DY4? Probably RY4.
Okay.
Because, like,
you like them.
Yeah,
I haven't tried DY4. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to get some and try some out.
I'm making 2 litres of it soon.
Oh, well, if you have a spare 10ml bottle, then
I don't think I can spare it. But...
It's not up to your island then.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm sure I can spare you 10
Stav, what about you?
Oh, dead easy. Well, 2 out of 3 is dead easy for me, because I'm going to a magic island and I don't do mechanical mods, so mine's got electricity. And it would be Darwin, Spheroid, and Juice, I don't know. At the minute,
one bottle that you've got to pick off the shelf.
And it can't have the word custard in it.
Well, it's a toss-up between the one I know.
To make it more challenging.
I think it would probably have to be Fire and Ice, even though I want to bring the one I'm not allowed to say. It would probably have to be my homemade Fire and Ice, because that is enough to revive the dead.
And Fire and Ice is, I'm guessing, cinnamon and menthol?
Cinnamon, red hot, and menthol, yeah.
Oh, nice. That sounds good.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I think that's what it would have to be.
Daz, what about you?
Well, I have a silver bullet, and if we're talking about mechanical mods, I would probably go down that route. Although one thing that we haven't actually covered is what if the spring went. So that would be something else that I might have to consider. But if it was ideal, I would say it would be my Sigelli Z Max, which is what I'm currently using. And atomizer-wise, I haven't touched anything with the mesh wick and coil, so I can't really comment on it. But it would therefore be the Bulldog BIM. And liquid-wise, I know the C word is banned, so looking at it another way, it would probably be Raw Serenity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That leaves you, Mr. Sutton.
Okay, juice first, 36 milligram RY6. Device, as long as it can have a kick in it, I would say the silver bullet. And as that's Daz's as well, and I'm imagining we're all on this desert island, then we could swap spares.
Bits, yeah.
And atomizer, I would have to say, I mean, it makes sense, mate. It's going with a rebuildable, so I would say at the moment, because I haven't been able to get hold of a Fagati or a various other ones that have got long waiting list. The one that I like the most is the Cobra.
Yeah. Good choice.
Yeah.
Good
and I'm figuring as well that you could sort of fashion a wick out of maybe a bit of palm tree, that sort of rough Hessian stuff. That looks like you could wick out of that.
Or off the edge of a coconut from the palm tree.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
But
no,
RY6
has become an all-day vape for me, and I can and I thought, as you do, I had it first thing in the morning, and it was different than when you have it at night time. It's weird stuff. I love it.
Okay, well that brings us nicely, I think, to our second break. So end of part 2. We'll be right back.
Sav the Cigs, sponsors of the Haze Hour. Sav the Cigs, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
And welcome back. Okay, right, so we're going to throw it over to Sav. Apparently we've got some more questions from chat. What we got, Sav?
Yeah. Pommy65 has said, I want to make my own A-juice. Do you have any tips?
Make it from... just mix his own flavour, I guess, as opposed to make it from cigars like we were watching the other night.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Got any tips? Yeah, make small amounts first, I would say. So, because I remember when I did it, a lot of people did this, I'm sure. I thought, right, I'm going to mix some juice. Right, so I'll need some nicotine liquid. That was easy. Plenty of people selling that. And I'm going to need some little bottles. And then I was looking at the prices of all the flavours and everything. This could get expensive very quickly if I'm not careful. And then I realised that Health Cabin, what was it, about £1 for 5 ml of flavour or something, wasn't it? And so I had this big crate arrived from China one day with all these different flavourings that sounded lovely on the website. They sounded gorgeous, but they were not.
No.
And it was through this process that I learned that things like fruit shouldn't go anywhere near an e-cig. It doesn't work.
Oh, it does.
Well, name one.
What? Coconut and pear.
Exactly. I mean, that even sounds disgusting, to be honest with you. I like coconuts and I like pears, but like I don't want to vape them.
Oh.
Cherries are always good.
Cherry's good. Anyway, we're sort of I ordered some 36 milligram unflavored juice from Health Cabin as well, from China, and a big bottle because I tried their 30 ml bottle of unflavored, and it was not unflavored. It tasted like bicycle tires.
Yes, I remember that. The rubber juice, the infamous rubber juice. There was a batch,
it was terrible.
Wasn't there?
So in terms of helping, what was the name of the lovely person who's posed this question?
Pommy65.
Pommy65, I would suggest, as Mr. Kitson said, buy small quantities to start with, get your mix right, and then upscale it from there. And also, if you only vape 12 milligrams, you don't have to get 72 because it just makes everything more complicated. Get 24 or 36 and cut it down.
Yeah, exactly, half or third and what have you. I mean, in terms of once you've got your stuff, I mean, it really is a case of getting your base liquid and your diluent that you're going to need to dilute stuff down, and then a flavour that you fancy trying. And
but
if
be prepared to try more than one flavour because you never get it right first time.
It would certainly be unusual, I think, wouldn't it? And the next thing I was going to say is just check out the forums. I mean, the one that I moderator on UK Vapors has a whole mixology forum now, and people put up their recipes and what have you. But yeah, I mean, don't be frightened of it. Do it. It's good fun.
Also, cleanliness as well. One drop of another flavour that is inside your syringe's needle can either destroy or create a flavour. And keeping track of what you put in, write it down, because if you hit on a recipe, I mean, I remember we did a show ages ago that I mixed up live, some cigarillo type thing live. People were I did a mixing show. And I was putting flavours in. And at the end of the show, I had 3 that were terrible and 1 that was brilliant. Do I know what was in it? Absolutely not. Vaped it within like a couple of days. And could I recreate it? No.
Fair enough.
Wow. Can I jump in? Because I've got a question for Sav, which I noticed on chat earlier. So, no pressure, Sav, but the question, I believe, was from Very Boring. And what Very Boring wanted to know is, how many Richies do you reckon that you've gone through since they've come out?
Right, how many have I got on my desk? This is... Right, this is just within reach and distance. I've got 5. How many I've got around the house?
Wow.
A lot. An awful lot.
And the reason for that is?
Oh, they are so Moorish. And they are so good. They really are, and they're perfect for when you're busy doing something, and it's the closest thing to that I'm gonna have a cigarette whilst I'm working thing. It is brilliant. Yeah, that's the one. That's there.
Yeah, I've given a couple of those away, and they always do seem popular.
Which is your flavour of choice then?
Menthol every time. It's so pretty.
What, menthol tobacco? I haven't tried that one yet. I'll have to,
it's not like a menthol though, is it? It's more like a spearminty menthol.
It's got a spearminty, pepperminty, tobacco-y, mentholy goodness.
Yeah.
I really like them.
Yeah.
See, that goes to show, doesn't it? Disposables come up in the world.
Oh, they are fab. I would use them all day, every day. Quite happily.
Fair enough.
Well, it's probably sulking now because you didn't want to take it to the desert island.
I never thought about it, but I'll put it in my back pocket.
Yeah, they're no trouble to carry, are they?
No.
Why don't you let the viewers know what we learned that day when we did the recording, Sav? What do you not do with the Richie?
You don't clean them by dropping them in a sink full of water.
Oh, do they not work well after that?
Oh no, they work brilliantly. They just don't shut off.
Actually,
keep working.
That's exactly what happened to my lips. I was working away at this very desk some time ago now, and there was a tap at the door and said, I forgot to empty your pocket before I put your jacket in the washing machine. I said, right. And I was handed this Ellipse battery, which didn't work, so I did all the usual stuff. I put it in like a little dish of rice to dry it out. And after a while I thought, okay, seems dry. Well, it got to a point after a couple of days when I shook it, water didn't come out the end and stuff like that. So I put it on charge and it seemed to charge, and then it continually fired once I put the atomizer back on it. And so
did it have a cut-off before that?
No, it just went and went and went after it had been washed. So it's actually in a little tub down there waiting to go to the battery disposal thing.
I have probably ruined 5 or 6 Ego batteries by putting it in the top pocket and then going into the bathroom, bending over and it flying out of my top pocket and ending in the toilet. It's annoying when it happens, but it's more annoying when you have to get it out. Those have not been dried out.
Is that what happened to the GGTS that you broke or anything?
No, I must admit with the GGTS it was just the fact that I hadn't used it in a couple of months, and e-liquid does strange things to metals. Right. And it probably wasn't as stored as well as it should have been. But it's going to live again. It is going to be a project for me. Because I look at it and it makes me sad to see it.
I can imagine.
I get it now.
I need a stealth cap for mine because I haven't got any. I can't attach like a 510 Genesis or anything to it. So, but I refuse to be sort of raped over the price.
Very true.
But anyway,
I'm going to put a battery in right now.
What's happening in chat while Andy puts his battery in his GGTS?
They're all taking the mickey out of me.
Why would they do that?
Why?
Because apparently I now have shares in Richie and there's none left for anybody else. I'm sorry. I have to apologise. And I have to mention, there is a little mini revolt going on in chat about the banned word of custard.
Yeah.
They are having a sit-in as we speak.
I'm not. We're not sitting in a position of authority to be liked. We can live with that.
They want it to be the ban to be revoked.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They love custard. They want it to be freely. See, I still haven't tried it. People were literally coming. Oh, it's living.
It works.
Wow.
There you go.
Magic.
That's confusing.
The magic of chat. Brilliant. Talk amongst yourselves.
I think in relation to the custard word I was going to say before, what chat failed to realise is some of us have to serve the wrath of cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where does cat sit with custard?
That's why I said the word wrath.
Put it this way, Andy. I have to stand outside if I vape it in a house.
I'm quite keen to get hold of some.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Somebody I've just read in chat. Keep the ban forever. Cow's turd is not nice.
Fair enough, Phil Anderson. Noted.
It stopped. It stopped working. It's not firing anymore.
Oh.
That's a bit like what my kick does. It works for a bit and then just stops.
But this is just metal touching other bits of metal, and I don't understand. I've cleaned all the contacts. I'm sad again now.
There's just some things in life that we've just got to face that we'll never ever understand, Andy.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Like why that custard is so
I'm happy
popular,
with that,
for example.
personally. It's just the balance of the universe, really, isn't it?
To me, it is pretty good stuff. Have to say.
It does appear that Kat and I are on one side of the fence and the rest of the world is on the other.
Pretty much.
But it didn't do anything for me.
Well, we're approaching the final minutes for a flurry of questions or just other
Yeah,
stuff.
shall we get started now?
Yeah, it may be a good idea.
Yeah, go for it.
Is there anything outstanding from chat? Is the first?
Oh, I've just seen one from Daz from Sav and Dave. Andy, is that a V1 kick? Does it not have a 5-second delay required for the GGTS? There's no kick in that. That's just a 18650 battery straight. If there's no electronics in that, it's just metal. So it's got to be a bit of corrosion somewhere on a contact that's just not hitting the right spot.
And you've tried more than one battery, obviously.
I've tried all the batteries, different sizes. I've got two buttons because one of them that fell down the that fell down the sink. That button.
That's
So
right. I
got
remember the
another
video.
one,
Yeah.
I ordered another
Why
one because
don't
I
you
thought it
not
was
just
lost in
buy
the
it?
post, and then that one showed up. So I've got two. I've tried two buttons. I'm just going to take. That's the beauty though with the GTTS is it's completely field strippable. You can, it will live again. It will like my silver bullet.
I just clocked Gillis's comment in chat. He said, "How can you criticise the EU?" And what was the exact words he used?
He said, hang on.
How
can you possibly criticise the EU and then implement a ban without a vote?
VTTV is not a democracy. What can I say?
What Cat says goes. At the end of the day, I ain't telling a difference.
And if Gillis really wants to argue with Kat, he's a braver person than me.
Yeah, go for it. I shall run a book.
We will all stand behind you. We don't have a problem with that whatsoever.
But feel free to write to your MP and then tell them to write to us.
Yeah, and as Jeff Bennion has said, film it.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely film it.
MG Jones has just put in, I'll call the ambulance.
Oh dear. Well, we must be getting very, very close to the end now.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Official time caller. 2 minutes.
Right, I just want to very quickly. Yeah, thanks, Andy.
You're welcome.
You were supposed to tell me that 5 minutes ago. I just want to remind everybody that there's a meet happening in a couple of weeks. Is it a week on Saturday, is it?
It is.
It's the Knees
Saturday,
meet.
yeah.
It's on the 16th of March. Here's the trailer. Yeah, so just was a little reminder there. That's a week on Saturday in South Shields. Oh, Sam's got a hand up.
Yes.
Either that or she was dancing to that tune. I'm not sure which.
Very boring.
45 seconds.
There's a meet in Edinburgh on the same day as well.
And the meeting. I'm sorry, Andy's just really interrupted me there. Yes, there is. And I did have the details, but I don't have them in front of me at the moment. In Edinburgh.
30 seconds.
Emporium Vapors in a street in Edinburgh, but you can get details from UK Vapors Forum. So
10.
So with that, yeah. Okay, that was another.
Chair just collapsed.
Andy's chair has just collapsed. And my camera has just wilted.
We're running over.
It looks. We were late starting anyway, man.
Yeah, whose blow fault was that?
We do hope that you got some kind of pleasure out of our offerings over the last couple of nights. Everything's back to normal again as normal as it gets with Andy on Saturday night for SOS, Smoke to Vape on Saturday, assuming he fixes his chair, I guess. I'm back on Sunday night with Dave's Tackle Box at 9 o'clock. Then we go round again with Gary Dibley and Mark, Tin Your Tip on Monday. We've got Marco with Vapor Scene. Just, how many times a day do we discuss these programmes and you think, what's it called? Vapor Scene, 9 o'clock on Tuesday. And then Mr. Dorn has to come back on Wednesday and start repairing the damage that we've done to his audience, I guess. But look, we've had a giggle. Really hope you have too. For those of you who hung on, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again. Say bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Sav and Dave, sponsors of the Haze Hour.